OTF Muwop officially facing life in prison. Confirmed FBG Duck killer.
Chase the money, chase the money. I be chasing guap, you be rolling off the XP.
The rival between those in the notorious O-Block and their adversaries in Tukaville has been going on for far too long, and many have lost their lives as a result. Now yet another young man will be spending the rest of his life behind bars, thanks to a war that dragged him into a vicious cycle. Thanks for joining us on Lime Report. Before we jump into this video, be sure to comment keyword Chirac for a chance at winning our giveaway, and subscribe for more videos. 5 suspects were arrested for the 2020 murder of Chicago rapper FBG Duck. Earlier this week, Charles C. Murder Liggins, Kenneth Kenny Robertson, DeCarlos Los Offord, Christopher C. Thang, Thomas and Marcus Muwop Smart. Their arrest has been the subject of much attention on social media recently and has sparked a ton of conversation, debate, and controversy over the young men and their involvement in the public slaying of FBG Duck. Recently, members of Lil Durk's Only the Family have seemingly been rounded up for several investigations, and some in the hip-hop community are now wondering whether or not some of the members are cooperating with police in exchange for leniency. Now, we all know what kind of recoil that comes with snitching, and yet these rumors pop up anytime someone gets arrested. Just days ago, OTF Buna was arrested for a separate case, and one detail has stuck out to some fans as odd. According to sources, Buna was only arrested because he left his phone at a crime scene, which law enforcement says implicates him in the crime. Now, OTF Buna and Muwop have been known to hang out together, and some believe that it was strange how Muwop and his crew were arrested shortly after Buna was charged with this crime. Although no one is directly saying that Buna is snitching, the timing of Muwop's arrest as well as some other details have led some to believe that Buna may have cracked under pressure in an attempt to save his own skin. Although the news of the indictments officially came from the Chicago Tribune, many fans were already aware of the situation and the impending arrest because the news spread on social media prior to the publication of the article. The reason for the information leak was due to none other than FBG Duck's own mother, Lashina Weekly, also known by many as Mama Duck. Weekly has been quite outspoken since the death of her son and has become somewhat of a social media personality herself. The grieving mother took to IG Live to inform everyone the police had contacted her to let her know they finally made arrest in connection with her son's investigation. In an article published by the Chicago Tribune, all of the details of the grisly murder and the following consequences are laid out for all to see. According to the article, the 5 men have been charged in a racketeering conspiracy accusing them of a pattern of violence that ultimately led to the slaying of rapper FBG Duck. The thing that stands out the most throughout this case is just how brazen these men acted when assassinating Duck. Reports tell of how 4 men hopped out of 2 vehicles one afternoon and opened fire on a Golden Coast clothing store, hitting FBG Duck and 2 others in a frenzy. The men quickly sped off afterwards, leaving the rapper face down awaiting his death. FBG Duck was a known member of the Gangster Disciples and therefore was entrenched in a bitter rivalry with the Black Disciples on the South Side. The 11-page indictment that was unsealed on Wednesday in court alleged that the young men charged with murdering FBG Duck are members of the violent fraction of the Black Disciples. Their faction has publicly claimed responsibility for the acts of violence and used social media and music to increase their criminal enterprise. Although it's not confirmed what their affiliations are, every one of the men arrested on Wednesday were taken into custody in the area controlled by the gang, authorities said. It's been over a year since FBG Duck's tragic death, and police are now finding leads as to what exactly happened to the young men. The reason for such a long investigation time has to do with the birth of the social media and the popularization of diss tracks, according to law enforcement. In the past, gang violence was a lot more upfront and easier to snuff out. However, now that things have moved largely online, and especially in the case of Chicago's drill scene, it has become increasingly harder for police to combat the growing gang war that's been threatening to swallow up the Windy City for the last decade. After the rapper was killed, the local police went on alert, citing ongoing threats being made between the groups. The reason for the high level of alert was mainly due to the fact that FBG Duck made the video prior to his death mocking dead members of rival gang, police had said. FBG Duck was not as well known as some of the more recent celebrity deaths, but his passing was tragic nonetheless. Chicago has become a hotspot, especially in the last 10 years, and that's largely in part due to the budding drill scene. Although rap music allows young men an avenue to success that would never have otherwise been open to them, it also can become dangerous when mixed with a fatal gang lifestyle. More often than not, those who start to see success tend to let it go to their heads, and in the streets, when egos are left unchecked, bad things start to happen. FBG Duck was well on his way to the good life, but in the end, he let his ego get the best of him, and in his situation, that was the worst mistake. Muwop and company have a long way to go, but with a good legal team, they may see their freedom again. Thanks for watching Lime Report. Don't forget to comment keyword Chirac for a chance of winning our giveaway, and subscribe for more videos.